America's credit card debt has hit the trillions and is still in the trillions going into the holiday shopping season. We are getting closer and closer, according to the Wall Street Journal, of maxing our credit cards completely out. So we got to talk about it today in this video. Hi, my name is Starr Carter, and thank you for tuning in to Starr Knows Credit. On this channel, I talk personal and business credit and everything else that's going to help us level up and get the bag. So thank you so much for tuning in. If this is your first time stopping by, welcome, and I hope you consider being a subscriber. Make sure y'all cut on the notification bell and give this video a thumbs up. That's where it get pushed out to other people that want to see this content. Thank you again. So let's go ahead and let's get into today's video, guys. So since starting this channel last year, I have done credit card reviews and reviews of credit unions to try to make sure that you are applying and getting the best credit that is available to you out there. But I would be remiss and not be responsible, to my channel if I don't tell you about the downside of getting some of these credit cards. Everybody want the high limit credit cards with Navy Fed and Penn Fed and all those type of things, and they're good to have, but you got to also be responsible. So in this video, I'm going to talk about some of the things that you really need to look out for to make sure that you don't get in trouble with your credit card. So let's go ahead and let's talk about number one. And number one is interest rates matter, okay? Interest rates matter. And because the Fed has been hiking these interest rates so much lately to try to combat inflation, some credit cards right now, the interest rates are well over 20% no matter what your credit is. It doesn't matter if you have subprime credit or if you're in the 800s. Just credit cards right now, you're looking at interest rates over 20%, and some of those retail store cards are over 30% right now. So you just have to be really careful, especially if you carry a balance, on what that interest rate could look like for you, because it could mean where you're spending $100 on something. If you're paying 20% or more on that thing, then you're going to be spending way more than $100 that you paid for at the store if you're carrying a balance. That one thing could cost you a lot of money down the road if you're not careful. So you just want to make sure that you are paying attention to your interest rates and preferably paying those balances right back off as soon as you use those cards. Number two is your credit utilization and how it impacts your credit score. So we already know that if you max your credit cards out, not only if you're not able to pay them back, then it could be really, really costly, but it can also tank your credit score, because your credit score accounts for 30% of your credit card utilization. So that means if you have a $1,000 credit limit on your credit card, then you should never report more than $300 as a balance on your statement that's going to actually report to your credit report, because anything over that could look like you are using your cards for more than just purchases. It could actually look like you are living off your credit cards if you're not able to pay that amount back down under 30%. As I said, you want to make sure that you're paying your cards off every month so that you're avoiding interest, but making sure that you're keeping it under 30% or whatever that limit is to maximize your credit score. Number three, you also want to be careful of only just paying the minimum payment. Again, because of interest, this could be really, really costly at the end, because the minimum payment usually is somewhere between 2 and 5% of whatever the balance is what they're going to calculate as the minimum payment. And usually that is only covering the interest amount and not the principal. So you want to make sure that you're paying more than the minimum, especially if you are carrying a balance. You want to pay as much more over the minimum as you can to actually hit the principal. But as I can't say enough, we need to be paying those cards back off every month. Do not spend more than you're able to pay back off every month. Number four, rewards aren't always beneficial, because rewards can come back to you on credit cards in form of cash back or points that you can use for travel, free hotel stays, and all of that. But if it's going to cause you to overspend just to get those rewards, to get that cash back, then it's not worth it. The only reason why you would want to do rewards and points and stuff like that is if it's going to be on things that you were going to be paying and buying anyway. So when like my American Express Gold card, I use that card for groceries and restaurants and stuff, but these are things that I would be doing anyway, okay? So it's not like I'm doing any extra spending just to hit any type of reward bonus or anything like that. So you just want to really be careful, because you just don't want to be racking up debt just to get some rewards. It's not going to be worth it in the end. Be careful of annual fees. And I just mentioned my gold card in the last one because my gold card does come with a $250 annual fee. But you want to make sure that the annual fee is outweighed by the benefits of the card. So like with the gold card, for example, I can get $120 Uber Eats and Uber credit, and that's a $10 credit per month. And I can also get $120 dining credit for some of the places that I would eat at anyway. So that's $240 against that $250. So that means that I can always negate that with those credits that I was going to get. But if you're just getting cards like some of those bad credit cards that I was telling you guys about that supposed to be credit rebuilding cards like Credit One and some of those other cards like Premier Bank, where they're just giving you an annual fee just to have the card with no perks just because your credit is not good, then you don't want to do that. You want to, if you're going to have a card with an annual fee, then that annual fee need to be outweighed by the rewards and by whatever it is, like the platinum card and stuff like that. You're getting all these other benefits that's going to outweigh that annual fee. It's not good to just have a card with an annual fee and there's no purpose in it. Okay, so you just want to make sure, because those can get costly, especially with fees over time. Number 6, balance transfer cards. Now these can help you, especially if you could get one with a 0%, and say you have a card that has a really high interest rate and you want to transfer that money over into a 0% APR card. That can be helpful, but you also got to be careful because they can come with high transfer fees. And also you got to make sure that whatever you transferred, say if it gave you 12 months, 15 months, 18 months, you want to make sure that you have paid off that transfer balance before that introductory period is off, because that interest can accrue all the way back to the very beginning, like retro interest, and that can really eat you up. So you want to be careful. Balance transfer cards, they can help, but you just got to be responsible and make sure that you are setting yourself up to pay whatever it is that you transferred in the amount of time that you're going to have that introductory period. That way you're not paying more money than what you would have paid if you hadn't transferred it. Number 7 is late payments. Okay, you want to be careful, especially with credit cards with late payments, because they can tack on not only the late payment fee, but then your interest rate could go to the default interest rate. So say if you got a 20% APR on your card, if you ever look at your statement, it'll tell you that if you're late, it could automatically jump up to whatever their default rate is, and that could be 29.99 or over 30%. And also this could really hurt your credit score. Most importantly, it can hurt your credit score. So you just want to be careful about not having any late payments on your credit cards, because credit cards are really great about boosting your score, but things like, you know, high utilization and late payments can really tank your score and make it even harder for you to get those points back. Number 8 is fraud protection. Now I do love credit cards for this. Most credit cards come with zero fraud liability, so that's why I use my credit cards more often than my debit card, especially like the video I just did about the scammers and stuff like that. So you want to make sure that you know that you are using your credit card and utilizing it for the fraud protection, especially now during the holidays where there are a lot more shopping online. You want to be careful to make sure that you are using sites that you are familiar with, that they are real sites, because people do make fake sites to try to take your money. But you just want to make sure that you are, you know, using that zero fraud liability to your advantage. Another great thing to know is not all cards are created equal. Not all credit cards are created equal. So you want to make sure that you are looking at the credit card terms, the rates, and everything else that you need to know about this credit card, and make sure that it fits your needs before applying. Just don't apply for any old card just because you have a good chance of getting approved. You know I do videos about, you know, cards that are easy to get and blah blah blah, but you just want to make sure that the card fits your financial needs and not just because it's easy to get. Make sure that it's not something that you're going to regret in the long run. And lastly, as I was saying before, credit cards are great for building your credit, especially if you don't have any. It's one of the easiest way to get your credit score boosted, but you just got to be responsible and make sure that you are doing everything that I was saying, paying your credit cards off every month. Do not spend more than you can afford. Stand below your means, so that way you're not getting yourself in credit card debt. And you also just want to make sure that you're paying attention to the terms, paying attention to whatever charges that could be if you're late, interest, default interest rates, all those those type of things, because a lot of times you don't realize that if you're late on another card, another credit card could charge you their default rate. So it's not just what you do with that company, it's what you do with your overall credit profile and what you are doing financially that's going to set you up for success and not failure. I hope this video blessed you with some information that you may not have considered when using your credit cards, because it's all about being smart with our money, not just getting credit to just get credit and just run up a bag, but we want to be smart because we're trying to set ourselves up for the future. Okay, thank you so much, and make sure that you guys leave me a comment and let me know what you think about this video, and I'll see you in the next one.